Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome on back to the channel, or if this is your first time here, welcome on in. Today, we're going to be reacting to Heimerdinger in League of Legends for the very first time. Now, of course, I am somebody that has come from the Arcane show, so I do know of Heimerdinger in the show and everything that takes place in the show for Heimerdinger, but I'm sure today we're going to learn a little bit more about Heimerdinger's background, biography, story, stuff like that. We're actually going to dive into any cinematics that Heimerdinger's in, take a look at his skins, take a look at his voice lines, and all that stuff today, as well as the wiki. So go ahead and grab yourself a snack, grab a drink, and let's go ahead and dive into Heimerdinger's lore in League of Legends. All right, everybody. So, like I said, I've watched Arcane season 1 and 2, so everything I know about Heimerdinger pretty much stems from that, as well as all my other reactions around Heimerdinger at this point in League of Legends. You know, other champions that have interacted with him, things like that. I know like Corki has interacted with him in Piltover, things like that. So let's go ahead and dive in here and actually learn about possibly things that have happened before Arcane, right? So we have Heimerdinger, the revered inventor. Quote says, "Impossible, you say? Nonsense. Just wait till you see my calculations." And of course, when I'm reading that, I'm just immediately hearing Heimerdinger's voice. All right, role is Mage, region is Piltover. Our related champions are Corki, Gnar, Ziggs, Rumble, and Veigar. So all Yordles. Of course, they probably would have added more in there if they could have. Okay, paragraph says, "The eccentric Professor Cecil B. Heimerdinger is one of the most innovative and esteemed inventors the world has ever known. As the longest serving member of the Council of Piltover, he saw the best and the worst of the city's unending desire for progress. Nonetheless, this brilliant scientist and teacher will always remain dedicated to using his unconventional devices to improve the lives of others." So let's dive in here right into the biography. Oh, okay, there isn't a biography. All right, at least there's a story. So the biography they have is literally just a little paragraph again. A brilliant yet eccentric Yordle scientist, Professor Cecil B. Heimerdinger is lauded as one of the most innovative minds and esteemed inventors Piltover has ever seen. Relentless in his work to the point of neurotic obsession, he is fascinated by mysteries that have confounded his contemporaries for decades and thrives on answering the universe's most impenetrable questions. Though his theories often appear opaque and esoteric, Heimerdinger believes knowledge should be shared and is devoted to teaching all who desire it. Okay, so I think the idea here is not much is known about Heimerdinger's past. Like, we know he's been around for a very long time, but he must not be somebody who's that revealing. I don't know. Let's go ahead and dive into the story. It's very interesting that of all the Yordles, he has just a paragraph, even though like we have a whole TV show with him in it. So it's just interesting. I want to know more about his past, but maybe we're not going to find that out. Let's see about the story. From the Journal of Professor Cecil B. Heimerdinger. And our story is also just going to be like a journal thing. So it's like we really don't have actual stories about him. But all right, let's dive in here. So let's see, 10:14, 9:15. I'm going to assume, 9:15 in the morning. Current meteorological conditions in Bandle City seem optimal. Atmospheric pressure is ideal for today's experiments. Running a 5th trial for my tritiuminium ovulator this afternoon. Some fine tuning is required. Singed my mustache. Need to adjust the energy throughput. 1600 hours. Tritiuminium ovulator is still not maintaining intended proper energy efficiency. Necessary to run more numbers. In the meantime, I found something else that's very intriguing. While returning home after today's test, I passed a gaggle of young Yordles, okay, so they're called a gaggle, throwing a spherical projectile at each other. It's a simple enough concept. Throw the object at someone, catch it, throw it at another Yordle, repeat. But Yordle miscalculations result in several errors. They throw with inconsistent accuracy and force, and the ball, as they refer to it, is frequently dropped. There are many ways for this process to be improved. According to my calculations, and after collecting data from the participants, if the pitching was consistent in both speed and arc, there would be a 44.57% increase to fun. I need to ponder this for the evening. Not the scientific analysis of people throwing a ball around. Okay, 5:20. Eureka! I've devised a solution. I've invented an automated ball pitcher. Current name H28G. It employs a consistent speed and trajectory, ensuring that the recipients will always be able to catch the ball. It redirects itself to the nearest Yordle. If there's more than one in the vicinity, ensuring everyone has a turn. I'll take it to the young Yordles today and demonstrate my invention. Also, spilled toxic acid on my shoes this morning. Bothersome. That's hilarious. 10:30. Tested the automated pitcher today. It did not go as planned. Who would have thunk? The young ones were excited enough about my invention, but when the machine was turned on, it was far too powerful. Even at its lowest setting, it completely knocked a Yordle off his feet. Okay, Heimerdinger's trying to murder the young Yordles. Clearly, I overestimated the velocity behind their throws. I'll return soon to make adjustments, but my priority for now is the Tritiminium Obulator. I must fix its complications before lunch. Once it's in good shape, I'll need to test it somewhere else. Bandle City is proving insufficient for field research. Now, this device has this crazy name, but it's going to turn out to be something so simplistic, probably. I don't know. Okay, so it's 10:16 and it's at 15:55. Apparently, there's a giant in town, a highly annoying anomaly. The noise outside is disturbing my research. Must check fish tank today. They've been strangely quiet. What? Okay, I don't know if that's a reference to something. 10:17 at 10:40. I have heard that many Yordles have been injured due to the giant-related disturbance. If this doesn't stop soon, intervention will be necessary. I hope H28G is still intact. I would lose a lot of time if it has to be rebuilt. 16:30. Everything is quiet again. It seems that the giant came to his senses and ran off. I need to gather H28G tomorrow once I've finished with more pressing matters. I've almost perfected the Tritiminium Obulator. And then last entry here is on 10:18 at 8:30. Today has been quite eventful already. I was surprised by a knock at my door. It seemed like the entire city was standing in front of my house. Normally when a crowd has gathered, it's because they have some petty grievance about my work, but this time they were celebrating. Astonishingly, it seems one of the young girls took advantage of the H28G prototype I had left behind amidst the giant tomfoolery. He proved to be innovative and repurposed the invention into a makeshift turret. It's powerful enough to scare off a giant. Imagine that. What an ingenious little fella. I wish I could employ his like-minded encephalon in the near future. I have big plans and his assistance could be valuable, but he'd have to leave Bandle City. The scope of my plans necessitates a more expansive testing ground. Runeterra should suffice. Okay, so, we're just kind of getting the inner workings and the inner, kind of scientists of Heimerdinger here and kind of how he operates, right? That's what we're getting with the journal entries, I think. It's also, I guess, kind of nice to maybe see him outside of the Piltover landscape, actually seeing him in Bandle City. And then he also, we get a little bit of a background here where he says usually when it's people outside of his door, it's because he's doing something that they have a grievance about his work, but this time they were celebrating. So he's used to apparently having toxic acid fall on his shoes because it's only bothersome to him. He's used to having other Yordles outside his home because he's doing some crazy scientific stuff. But okay, I mean, really, if I was like an outsider, didn't watch Arcane, obviously I would just get the idea that Heimerdinger is the scientist Yordle. And he's probably older because, I don't know, because scientists tend to be that way. Anyways, that's all I would have gotten from this. But of course, we've seen the show, so we do know a little bit more. I'm hoping maybe we learn a little bit more from either Voicelines or like the Wiki, because realistically, I've gained just a little bit more into like his operating factor, but I don't know much more about his history and stuff. So I would have loved to learn a little bit more about that. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and dive into his abilities next. All right, let's look at the abilities now. So difficulty says high and roll says mage support. Let's dive right into the abilities here. Oh, is the video not working on this, or is it? All right, let's get right into the passive. It says gain move speed while near allied towers and turrets deployed by Heimerdinger. Oh, okay. So you can actually deploy turrets. That would make sense that he would actually use some of his creations, right, to help during the battlefield. So that is his Q. It is an evolution turret. Oh, it's the H28G evolution turret. So that's actually what was mentioned in the story. So that's kind of cool. I kind of got an origin story to the H28G. Heimerdinger lays down a rapid fire cannon turret equipped with a secondary pass-through beam attack. Turrets deal half damage to towers. Okay, so you don't have like the tower just getting destroyed by your turrets like crazy. It does half damage at least. Okay, next up is Hextech micro rockets. Oh, the rockets look crazy. Where did the rockets even come from? I'm so confused. They just like appear. Oh, from like, I don't even know. It says Heimerdinger fires long range rockets that converge on his cursor. It's like something pops up from his hair or like his back and just shoots missiles. That's crazy. Next up is the CH2 Electron Storm Grenade. Heimerdinger lobs a grenade at a location, dealing damage to enemy units, as well as stunning anyone directly hit and slowing surrounding units. So we got just a bunch of rockets. We got a stun grenade. We got turrets. And very last thing is upgrade. Oh my god, Heimerdinger looks insane. Oh, it's a giant turret. Heimerdinger invents an upgrade causing his next spell to have increased effects. So using it on the turret or using it on the micro rockets or the storm grenade, I imagine it just allow. Oh my goodness. Okay, that was the micro rockets. That was an insane amount of rockets. It basically combined the storm grenade and the rockets together. But let's see. That's the grenade. Okay, so then it bounces. Okay, that's pretty cool. I mean, obviously, depending on the situation ahead of you, you'll use a certain one. But I mean, I guess if you guys want to let me know in the comments, I wonder if there is a specific ability that you would ultimate more often than not. I feel like the turret would be maybe no. I guess, I don't know. It depends on the situation, but I feel like the rockets and the grenade would probably be a little bit more useful depending on the situation. But yeah, all right, guys. I mean, difficulty being high seems interesting. Again, I know I take this with a grain of salt, but I guess maybe it's because he doesn't really have any movement abilities. And he's just got a bunch of like, I don't know, just grenades and rockets and stuff. I don't know. Maybe that's what makes his character a little bit more difficult. You guys will have to let me know in the comments. Also, of course, as always, I like to ask, how was Heimerdinger when he, was first out in the game, which was a very long time ago? I mean, at the beginning of the game, right? 15 years ago, it looks like. And like, how has he evolved to now? Do you guys still think he's pretty decent, or has he kind of fallen by the wayside and isn't that great anymore? All right. And of course, I do want to take a look at the Heimerdinger Wild Rift video as well while we're here. It's a minute and a half. Get a little bit more insight into the abilities.
Goggles on.
Goggles on. That makes sense. All the rockets, was that upgraded rockets? It looked kind of insane.
I am about to do science.
I guess, okay, I forgot to mention that he does get movement speed around turrets and towers, so I guess he's not, I don't know, I guess it's the difficulty of making sure you're within a turret or a tower. Upgrade, and then it's showing the turret. Deals more damage, that's straight up it. Unleash a barrage of rockets, and then let's see the giant. The rockets looks really good when it's upgraded. Turrets charge for every rocket hit. Oh. Yeah, that rocket's insane. I feel like with the upgraded version of the grenade, I mean, it's definitely only going to be in certain situations. Direct hits stun enemies, so it's got to be direct. Oh, it completely actually stuns. That's insane. Oh, okay, there you go. Actually, that grenade looked pretty good. I mean, he looks like he's pretty fun. I could definitely see Heimerdinger being pretty good. I feel like his turrets would be super annoying.
Perhaps I should try more rockets.
Oh my god. I mean, hey, not wrong. Oh, that's a fun looking skin. We'll be taking a look at the skins here shortly. Cool, that's a cool looking skin. I like that one. All right, everybody, I think we might actually have a trailer I've never seen. It's called Need to Live, Heimerdinger Champion trailer for Wild Rift. I definitely don't think I've seen this because it's specifically a Heimerdinger trailer for Wild Rift. Came out October 16th of 24. Yeah, this is brand new for me, so let's take a look. It's a minute and 50 seconds.
Here I found myself in this strange and fascinating part of Zon. Young
cool.
Echo had built something beyond my imagination.
Oh, it's keeping the whole arcane thing going.
They need to survive. You have to give them what they need to live.
Perhaps this new perspective is just what I needed to put the spring back in my scientific step.
Not them working
and how
out.
better to prove that than with a little creation of my own. I possessed all the necessary terms to this equation, but somehow the correct solution continued to elude me, like a slippery grumble slug. Maybe the key.
I can't believe I've never seen this.
Was a bit of the accustomed multiplied with a dash of the unexpected. Oh, golly! Perhaps that was too much of the unexpected.
Now hold on. Is this in the is this like legit Fortiche? No, Eddie. It looks specifically like. But yeah, it doesn't look like it was done by Fortiche. Okay.
Want, of course.
Oh.
Bad.
Uh-oh, what's happening? Oh, it's a... Oh, that's so cool. So this is essentially what was happening, like, off-screen, we can say, with Echo and Heimerdinger. That's what I'll say. That was actually a really fun trailer for just adding Heimerdinger to Wild Rift. They didn't even need to do anything like that. But I think, you know, they were trying to do it around the time that, you know, Arcane Season 2 was out and whatnot. So that was probably like the inspiration for adding this. This was really fun. Obviously, there's not a lot going on in it. It's really just showing kind of like the bond between, I think, yeah, that's the biggest thing actually that it's showing is it's showing the bond between Heimerdinger and Echo and showing how, like how close they became friend-wise and how fast they became friends because of like, I guess, the way they think about inventions and creating things. And they're obviously both very smart characters. So I think that's the cool part of this trailer. All right, everybody, we're going to dive into the skins here for Heimerdinger. We're going to be starting off with Arcane Professor Heimerdinger to get things going. It looks like there's 13 minutes worth of skins. Let's just dive in. Here we go. Oh, that's cool. Pulling out the guitar from the show. There goes our splash art. That looks cool. Basically, I mean, literally a shot for shot from the show.
What a reaction!
So this is essentially his Arcane skin then. Oh, I like all of the effects in this one. It looks really cool. Obviously, this one is going to be off the bat like ahead of the rest of them just because of Arcane for me. I'll try to pick my top 3. You guys can let me know if you have a favorite Heimerdinger skin in the comments. Oh yeah, the effects are really cool. I think Heimerdinger looks cool here. I mean, that's how I look at Heimerdinger anytime I see him is like, I mean, basically the way he looks in Arcane. Whoa, okay. The missiles looked cool there. Let's see the ult.
No, not all the rockets.
Like that, okay. Okay, cool. I like the explosion sound on that. Okay, oh my, they did a Heimerdinger. That's a funny name. I like that.
Exceeding turret.
Okay, so there's always something rotating around Heimerdinger, yeah. This time they went with, looks like flowers. Obviously makes sense. Bees like
Smaller
to
than the diagram.
pollinate flowers. Oh my god, the turrets are little bees. Or what, they're shooting honey, I assume? And then the missiles are actual like bees running, okay, or flying. That's really cool too. Wait, what's the grenade? Okay, it's a flower. It's like a flower exploding. I thought it looked like something else. Oh, the giant turret is adorable. And then it shoots a giant bee. That's fun. This is one of the better bee skins, I think, because of the amount of like additional stuff going on with the skin. Since you're obviously having missiles that turn into bees or are bees, the turret itself is also a bee. There's just a lot more going on with this bee skin, I think, compared to like some of the others. That's pretty cool. All right, let's see. Recall? What do we got? That must be Queen Bee, yes. Okay, Heimerdinger. Okay. That was a really good skin. Hey, Pool Party Heimerdinger. I had no idea. Pool Party.
Require my adjustable reverse ratcheting magnetic box wrench.
What is he throwing? Oh, it's a sand shovel. Okay, that's pretty cool. And what's floating around him? I literally can't tell. Oh, the turrets being squirt guns. See this? Oh, what? Okay, there's so much going on with this skin. Now, what is he? What are the missiles? Oh, there's like a shark. There's a freaking lobster claw coming out. I don't even know. There's so much going on with this skin. And the turret is now a shark instead. Hold on. Okay. They can do so much with the Heimerdinger skin because of all the different abilities and the different things they can do with it. That's why the Heimerdinger skin was so good. And that's why this skin is so good compared to like some other Pool Party skins. This is really good. There's a beach ball. Dude, they did everything for Heimerdinger on this one. That was an incredible skin. I have nothing else to say about that one. Okay, Dragon Trainer Heimerdinger. So far, these two previous ones, Heimerdinger and Pool Party, honestly beat the Arcane skin. Now we got Dragon Trainer. Wait, is the dragon dropping a bone into his hand? Okay, the turrets are little dragons shooting fire. What are the missiles? I can't tell. Okay, it's like fire bolts that like have dragon wings at the back of them. And then we throw a dragon egg and there's dragon eggs floating around. Okay, this one's really good too, honestly. And then we just have a bigger dragon. The turret effect is so cool, man. They've been really doing some cool stuff with these. Okay, so for the missiles, it just looks like there's a lot more and they're a little bigger. That's the only difference. I'm assuming the dragon egg is just gonna be a little bigger and bounces, yeah.
Adorable friends. What are you
Oh. Oh. Oh, it's just the dragons being cute with Heimerdinger. That's fun. Okay, that's a cool one. I enjoy that. Oh, and this one has some extra stuff. We get these little extras sometimes. So we got death animation and respawn.
What do you mean it was my fault?
Mm-hmm.
I knew I left that chew toy somewhere.
Oh, that's fun. 3 of them just... So he doesn't have to walk? Oh, my God. I mean, he does have shorter legs, right? So...
I'm not calling you queen of the monsters. Grow another 2 heads and we'll talk.
That's fun.
Oh, so you think you can defeat a dragon trainer?
Oh.
On guard, whippersnapper.
Yeah, aw. They got scared. These are fun. Somebody had to animate this, by the way. That's so funny. Oh, they did a lot with this skin. Wow. Heimerdinger is just a dad in this. All right, next up is Hazmat Heimerdinger. We've had a few Hazmat ones, I think. Oh, goodness. The head looks crazy in this Hazmat suit. It looks massive. I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but... Okay, so the turrets look like they have like a little vial with some, you know, toxic green liquid. Pretty neat. You got some missiles. What's the grenade? Okay, it's like a giant vial with some green liquid. Okay, pretty cool. Let's move straight to the recall. We get an idea of what the skin is. I guess, hold on, let's look at the big turret. Oh! I do like that effect on the green turret. Let's go ahead and move on to the recall. Oh, okay, recall now. He pulls out a chair. And he's sipping on the green liquid. That's crazy. That was a fun one, I think. Pretty solid. What? Heimerdinger. What?
I require my adjustable reverse ratcheting magnetic box wrench.
Okay, they're like, he's got a big head. Perfect. Let's make him a snowman. Like, that's actually insane. Oh, the turret's a little snowman inside of a sled. I love that even on these skins here, like, how much is this one? 975 RP? They're still, like, adding some effects with the turrets. Even if, like, even the grenades and the missiles are a little different, I still think it's cool that they're doing that. So this is Heimerdinger's, quote-unquote, winter-themed skin. Oh, the turret's a giant chimney. I think that's pretty fun. Yeah, if you're looking for a festive Heimerdinger skin, this is the one you got. Although he looks kind of like a villain, to be honest. Like, isn't there a villainous Jack Frost snowman movie? I don't know what it's called, but yeah. Straight on to the recall. Let's see if they do anything. Was that a gingerbread cookie? What is that?
Come on.
Oh, I couldn't tell what that was, but okay. Piltover Customs Heimerdinger. Okay. Looks like he's throwing a tire iron and something else. I can't tell what the other thing is.
It's smaller than the diagram.
Is the turret an engine? They're really doing something for every single Heimerdinger skin. I mean, sure. I'm not complaining. That's cool. The missiles look like just, I guess, regular missiles. Grenade looks like a grenade. What's the giant turret gonna look like? Just a bigger engine? Maybe a cooler engine. Yeah. That's cool. I like that the engine actually has it moving. The cylinders. That's pretty cool. Let's see the recall, though, now. Let's see what's different. Okay, so this is officially the original recall, but the arm is different each time, yeah? Okay, moving on. What's the next one? Blast Zone Heimerdinger. Okay, so this is like your scientist kind of Heimerdinger. Okay, and his hair. Okay, his hair is actually like that in the game. It's actually like all blown up from an experiment. The turret? I guess the turret just looks like a turret that Heimerdinger made. It looks like a turret. I didn't know if it was trying to be anything specifically. Let's look at the big turret. Yeah, same thing. Just a big turret. And then the recall. I guess the recall is just going to be his arm, yeah? Coming out. Oh, it's an actual rocket.
Come on.
I love that he has to smack it a couple times to make it work. Okay. And I think this is last but not least, Alien Invader Heimerdinger. We can count this as a Halloween skin, 1000%. Oh yeah. Oh my god. Okay, obviously it's gonna remind me of Mars Attacks. If you guys have seen that movie, that's a movie I haven't seen in a while, but I definitely grew up watching that at one point. And then, okay, at least the turrets are different. The turrets are like an alien blaster. Yeah, I would honestly consider this like a Halloween skin at this point for Heimerdinger. Let's see. The turret is just a bigger version of the gun. Okay. And then let's move on to the recall.
Come on.
The green brain looks crazy. All right, that was a very interesting skin. All right, guys, this one's actually pretty simple for me, I believe. While I think the arcane skin is very good because it's essentially what Heimerdinger looks like in the game, I don't mind it. Like, it's good, but I think these first three right after it are honestly just so good. Heimerdinger's missing a lot of skin lines. Like, he doesn't have a high noon one. There's just a lot of other skin lines that he possibly could have, like porcelain maybe. I don't know. There's certain skin lines that I think could work for him, but of course I don't know how popular he is. But honestly, the skins that he does have are really good. Heimerdinger is going to be in the top 3. Pool Party really impressed me. I think Pool Party is probably my favorite. That one was just really, really fun because I didn't expect all the additional things with the turrets and stuff. And then Dragon Trainer Heimerdinger, especially with all the additional dragon animations and whatnot. There's a lot going on with this skin. So I think Dragon Trainer Heimerdinger, Heimerdinger, and Pool Party Heimerdinger are the best skins. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments if you have a favorite Heimerdinger skin. All right, and I do want to take a look at the in-game trivia here for Heimerdinger. His dance references the head spin, a breakdance move. Heimerdinger's alternate/old walk is referred to as derpy. Using any emotes or activating Heimerdinger's passive will make Heimerdinger alternate between his regular walk and his derpy walk. While upgrade is active, Heimerdinger gains a cosmetic buff that reads harder, better, faster, stronger. Okay. If Heimerdinger scores a pentakill, he will gain the cosmetic buff Eureka. This buff references Archimedes' sudden revelation. Only in Heimerdinger's case, his own came after the mass murder of the enemy team. Heimerdinger is the 6th champion to have more than 4 abilities, the others being Elise, Snar, Jace, Carmen, Lee Sin, and Nidalee. Yeah, with his whole like ultimate, and then obviously with the different turret and grenade and whatnot. The icon for Hextech Affinity is reused for the Teamfight Tactics item Magnetic Remover. Yeah, I've played TFT. Magnetic Remover is definitely the item icon that I've seen a million times. In the now removed official League of Legends forums, the original icon of Upgrade was used to represent the help and support section. Oh, so the wrench there. Okay, very nice. Let's move on to the actual wiki for him. All right, on the main wiki for Heimerdinger, it looks like they have actual different photos here from mostly Arcane, and then there's like the main icon from him in League. Let's see, nicknames: Heimer, Little Guy, Furball, and Dr. Heimerwiener from Dr. Mundo. Aliases are the revered inventor, Professor Heimerdinger, father of Piltover, Counselor Heimerdinger scratched out. Oh, that hurts. Let's go ahead and learn about some more stuff about Heimerdinger here. Early life. Not much is known about Heimerdinger's early life in Bandle City. At some point, he would venture out from the spirit realm and would witness a magical catastrophe that devastated Runeterra. Eventually, Heimerdinger helped the Golden City of Piltover to serve as a refuge for magical forces, and after being inspired by a scientist one day, Heimerdinger would pursue this field to become one of the city's most celebrated inventors. Okay, that sentence reminded me of the that little flashback or that little image that Heimerdinger gets in Arcane Season 1 of like Piltover and ruins, right? Heimerdinger became a professor, being named the Dean of Piltover Academy and mentoring students and inventing unconventional devices to help the people of the city, with his statue adorning the entrance of this prestigious school. He would also become the head of the Piltover Council, as well as the longest-serving counselor in Piltover's history. With the immortal lifespan of a Yordle, Heimerdinger long outlived the vast majority of his contemporaries and would carry vital wisdom about the high and low points of the city's history. Heimerdinger met numerous bright minds, some of which would become Heimerdinger's closest friends, such as Stanwick Piddly. At some point, Heimerdinger worked with an academy alchemist named Corin Revik, which we know is Singed, whose intellect was unmatched by any of his peers. However, when Revik's unethical experiments to save his daughter Oriana were brought to light, Revok lost the respect of his colleagues and was dismissed from Piltover Academy, after which Heimerdinger stopped working with him. Obviously, we learned that in Season 2. Years after Dr. Revok's dismissal, Heimerdinger discovered a young scholar from the Undercity named Victor, and impressed by his brilliance, enrolled him for a full education and Academy scholarship. At some point, Heimerdinger also came to favor Jace of House Talus, an ambitious young Academy student who was seemingly destined for greatness should his mind be put to the greater good of Piltover. Very fun. And then we have the discovery of Hex Tech, which I'm not going to read that. That's literally just arcane. Like, this is just arcane. We don't need to read what occurs in arcane. We all know what happened in arcane. So I am going to skip over it. We have the Piltover Bicentennial. This is a lot of stuff just straight up from arcane described in a paragraph. Yeah, it's talking about the Jinx. It's talking about Echo in here. Investigating the anomaly. Yeah, okay. So there's basically everything from arcane is written out in this wiki. That's pretty interesting. Somebody came in and actually added this, or I don't know if somebody from Riot did or whatnot, but that's pretty cool. Let's move on to Disappearance and Legacy. Having disappeared in the parallel universe. Now, see, this is where I'm interested. Having disappeared in the parallel universe, Heimerdinger never returned to Piltover to resume his position as Dean of the Academy. After the end of the martial law period, the clans elected a new council, but Heimerdinger's seat remained notably empty. After some time, revisionists on the council would try to cover up the fact that Heimerdinger ever even served in Piltover's government, with some even claiming not to remember who he was. That is actually, dude, how did I just now remember this? Because I was very interested when the show happened and we were like, okay, what happened to Heimerdinger? Are we ever going to learn where Heimerdinger ends up going? You guys let me know if you guys have theories or if there's something that's been discussed already. I don't know if Necrit's discussed it. Like, where has Heimerdinger gone, essentially? All right, appearance. Heimerdinger is a small, light-furred Yordle. His most prominent feature is his lush blonde hair on his head, alternating between curly and straight, blue eyes, pointy ears, as well as his white mustache. He wears a dark blue-gray lab coat with gold accents, dark belt and gloves, and sometimes puts on round metal goggles to protect him during dangerous experimentation. After traveling to the parallel reality where Hextech was never invented, Heimerdinger would wear a slightly brighter coat and would carry around a small mechanical banjo on his back, which he could play along with a harmonica attached to a frame next to his mustache. I like that they include the appearance in the alternate universe as well. Okay, personality. Very interesting. Here we go. Heimerdinger is an eccentric scientist and inventor with a drive to nurture curiosity, encourage exploration, oversee experimentation, and inspire innovation and imagination. Wow. That was a good sentence. Yeah, I think so. He is wise, having lived a long life as a Yordle, but his experiences have made him cautious. He is wary of the potential consequences of new technologies and prefers to test them over the course of years or even decades, taking care to ensure that his inventions can be safely used by the people of his city. Heimerdinger believes no science should ever endanger innocent lives, such that he originally believed the arcane could not and should not be scientifically created, as he has seen its raw destructive potential fall into the wrong hands. Heimerdinger's reluctance to support Hextech led him to conflict with Jace and Victor, who are both far more ambitious and far less cautious than Heimerdinger ever wished to be. Heimerdinger is meticulous, detail-oriented, and always precise when it comes to making his inventions practical and workable. As a teacher, he is kind and approachable, always willing to share his knowledge with others and showing an earnest, almost childlike enthusiasm whenever he discusses scientific theory. Heimerdinger cares deeply about the accomplishments of his students, believing his old friend Stanwyck Pedidley was right to prioritize nurturing a new generation of scholars over his own personal ambitions. It's so hard to say his name. Heimerdinger's perception of time, however, is warped by his extraordinarily long lifespan, which sometimes leads him to seem out of touch from basic human needs and struggles. True. His failure to provide the basic needs and security to his people eventually led the city to reject his leadership, and Heimerdinger was voted out of office by his fellow councilors. After Heimerdinger was dismissed from the council, he went to live with Echo and the Firelights, who taught him a great deal about the simple joys of living and enjoying each and every moment. Heimerdinger became visibly happier during this time, embracing his old love for constructing odd, quirky inventions to entertain and help the people around him, which we actually saw in that trailer we just watched earlier. Heimerdinger also abandoned his serious disposition, donning a silly mask as a disguise and sneaking into the academy when he did not have to. Having enjoyed listening to music in the opera house as a counselor, Heimerdinger eventually decided to develop his own musical talents by learning to sing and play the banjo. In his scientific work, Heimerdinger remained cautious as always, but far less rigid in this regard, letting himself be driven by his optimism instead of his fear of the unknown or uncontrollable. By the time he helped Echo get back home, he had become truly satisfied with the life he had lived. No, okay, listen, Heimerdinger's not dead. Can't be. I don't believe it. But anyways, this was actually really well written to show the evolution of Heimerdinger's personality, right? Obviously, he probably still has core aspects of the drive to nurture curiosity, encourage exploration. He probably still has the drive of like believing that no science should endanger innocent lives, but he also loosened up a little bit towards the end, right? Okay, so we have abilities. We have Professor. As a dean of Piltover Academy, Heimerdinger's expertise makes him one of the greatest teachers of the City of Progress has to offer. Basically, he's really smart. Inventor. He has obviously Yordle physiology, immortality, Yordle magic, and they put a musician in here as well. So he's a musician. Yeah, so we know pretty much all of his abilities. There you go. And then we have the relationships. Oh man, somebody came in here and really added to his to Heimerdinger's wiki. So again, guys, I don't want to read into the arcane stuff. Even reading the personality got a little bit more into the arcane stuff. Like, we know the relationship between Jace because of arcane, because of Echo, you know, with Echo and all that. I do want to do Stanwyck here, just because, like, not even Mel, not even Powder or Jinx, because it's all arcane, right? I was looking more for like relationships that we didn't already know about from not arcane, but it looks like most of that is just in here. All right, let's read about Stanwyck here, though. Heimerdinger considered Stanwyck Pedidly to be a dear friend. According to Heimerdinger, everything Stanwyck built either exploded, melted, or toppled over. Yes, Stanwyck became revered as a remarkable teacher as he set his personal ambitions aside and focused on something far more important, Piltover's future. Stanwyck realized nothing he could accomplish could compare to the contributions of his students, and for his sacrifice, Piltover had Stanwyck Pedidly memorialized in the form of a statue. Heimerdinger remembered Stanwyck fondly and would sometimes visit his statue to light a candle for his old friend. Okay, so everything else, though, we got Victor, Singe, Mel, Medarda, Powder, all arcane. Again, I'm trying to learn more about these champions outside of arcane, just more in the world of League. Now, I'm a little worried because we are starting to get to the final champions here, where I've already reacted to all of the ones like in game. I haven't yet, but we're getting there. But now all I'm starting to get into are the ones that are actually in arcane. So I'm wondering if the rest of their wikis are also going to be this detailed with just events from arcane. I imagine it will be. But we'll have to see. Okay, so we're moving on. We're going to see what content there is for Heimerdinger, see if I missed anything. We did read the biography. Obviously, we've seen Arcane. There's a game called Firelight's Reignite. I guess that you guys will have to let me know. That looks like a little game between Echo and Heimerdinger. That must be something that was just very short. And then there's the Need to Live video, which I didn't know about. And it was really cool to actually have a new League of Legends cinematic that I hadn't seen yet. So, cool. Okay, trivia. Heimerdinger is a portmanteau of J. Robert Oppenheimer and Erwin Schrödinger's last names. What is a portmanteau? Portmanteau, I guess. I don't know how you say that. A large trunk or suitcase, typically made of stiff leather. That can't be it. A word or part of a word made by combining the spellings and meanings of two or more other words or word parts. There you go. His given name, Cecil, comes from Caecilius, a Roman surname from Caesus, one-eyed, blind. This comes from, there's somebody named this in Gladiator, isn't there? Anyways, Heimerdinger is stated to be 307 years old in the first act of Arcane, and is estimated to be around 313 to 314 years old in the second, third, and fourth acts. Okay, so we have a rough, we actually have like an estimated age for Heimerdinger, as he spent 1128 days, roughly 3 years, in the parallel universe before Echo's arrival. This would make him about 316 to 317 years old in the sixth act. Heimerdinger's official height is 90 centimeters or 3 foot. Heimerdinger has a pet Poro that appears to be blind in one eye. Its name is Porofessor. Oh, that's cool. I don't think I knew the name. In the old lore, Heimerdinger created Master Yi's 7 lenses of insight, as well as Corky's reconnaissance operations frontline copter, or Rafflecopter. So that's old lore, technically. Master Yi's 7 lenses of insight. I haven't done Master Yi's reaction yet, but that is interesting. But that's in old lore, so we don't know actually how Master Yi gets this. I wonder when we get to Yi if it'll still have that old lore in there. Probably will be. Oh, here's the changelog, rewritten with the release of the second season of Arcane. Very cool. All right, everybody, it's time to move on to Heimerdinger's voice lines. I'm very interested to see what we're going to get here. Hopefully we have some interactions with some other, actual in-game champions. I don't know if they've updated his voices because of Arcane or anything, so let's go ahead and dive into those. All right, everybody, I'm doing this recording on a different day. That's why you can see me in different clothing. Anyways, nobody pays attention to that, right? Okay, let's dive in. Why is this? Why is it in? Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive into the Legends of Runeterra voice lines for Heimerdinger. We're taking a look at the skin spotlight video first, then we'll move to the wiki, and then we'll do the League of Legends voice lines right after. Let's go in. Here we go. It's been a while since we don't have Legends of Runeterra voice lines very often, so here we go. This is gonna be nice. Here we go.
What's in that wrist piece? Trinitum? Quadranium power cells?
This ain't Hextech, Fuzzman.
Buzzman.
Signatures of your archaneological instrument indescribable.
Makes sense. Heimerdinger would be super interested in what Ezreal has.
A coolant to the rotating barrel of boring.
He's trying to help.
An organic explosive device? Fascinating.
Is that a... Wait, what?
Another Heimerdinger? Nothing but rotating mirrors. And projected lights. Oldest trick in the book.
I love how Heimerdinger is not interacting with any of these other champions themselves. He just cares about whatever they're using, like device-wise.
You build the vroom vrooms, and I'll do the choos.
I see we're using technical terms.
Okay, Heimerdinger, that was actually funny.
Target practice.
Whoa.
I forbid it! You cannot ruin yet another batch of experiments!
Another batch.
Professor, I've read all your manuscripts.
Oh my, what's the correct protocol here?
Uh-oh.
He's like, these are actually really funny voice lines so far from Heimerdinger.
It's smaller than the diagram. A
This is
sturdy
turret.
construction. Yeah. Launches at record velocities. Nozzle design enables rapid projectile firing.
He's so excited.
Just when I needed assistance.
Runchbot.
Requires just 1.21 gigahexes.
Gigahex?
An exceptional advancement in ballistics. A machine for sports ball.
Sports ball?
And fire! Yes, again!
Oh my god.
My most groundbreaking invention
Okay.
to date.
Okay.
Round and round and round it goes. Annealed crystal structures of unparalleled rigidity.
He is so excited about
Unbreakable
all
as
these inventions.
thermodynamics. Behold,
T-Hex?
they said it couldn't be done. It works. Oh, it works.
No way he made a T-Hex with a giant Gatling gun.
That will have to do for now.
Wind up
Innovation
Shredder.
must begin somewhere.
Oh, it works! Mostly.
Perhaps now you'll read your data sheets.
Can't fly if you don't try.
Inventors with work like that never last long.
Wow, those were incredibly funny. He got so excited about his creations kept getting bigger and bigger until he got to the T-Hex. That was just crazy.
Calculated.
Okay, we have
Truly
victory.
remarkable.
Defeat.
And what have we learned? Calculated.
Calculated.
System is truly error-free. Progress waits for no one. Dimensions don't determine themselves.
All right, so that's what we have for Heimerdinger in the Skin Spotlights video. We're going to go straight into the Wiki version and see if we have additional voice lines. All right, and also I didn't see a trailer for Heimerdinger in Legends of Runeterra, so let's actually look at the card now. So he's a 5 mana 2/4. Not great stats, right? But when you play a spell, create a fleeting turret in hand with equal cost. It costs 0. And then level up when I've seen you summon 12 plus power of tech allies. And then, oh wow, okay, the level up here, he's a 3/5, totally different art. Different camera angle altogether. When you play a spell, create a fleeting turret in hand with equal cost. Grant it +1/+1, and it costs 0. So just more turrets, right? That makes sense with this character. Okay. All right. Looking at the voice lines though on the wiki, let's see if we have any more. So we have his summoned voice lines. We did not hear these.
Order, entropy, a never-ending cycle. What seems to be the problem? Answers, I have them.
Answers.
Ah, the sweet smell of science.
The sweet smell of science. Interesting. What does that smell like, Heimerdinger?
Eminently logical.
Okay. Now we have some more interactions here. Let's take a look at enemy Draven.
You earned a ticket to a battle royale.
I'd prefer a battle of wits, but you're unarmed.
Oh my god, hold on. That was actually a good comeback. All right, we have Jace now.
Ah, the sweet smell of science.
Okay, it's just mostly Heimerdinger saying
Eminently logical.
those voice lines. So we'll skip over those. Here's the one where he has something new.
I hypothesize their demise.
I question your hypothesis.
Oh, Jace in game sounds so different. Oh goodness. Okay, I don't think I've actually heard Jace in game. There we go. We have Victor, enemy Victor.
Order, entropy, a never-ending
Okay, it's a
cycle.
repeat of a voice line.
Entropy is an unacceptable outcome.
All right, and then we have allied Ziggs present. It's more of the same.
Ah, the sweet smell of science. What seems to be the problem?
Okay, so let's move on to the rest. Moving down to the level up voice lines. That was kind of a cool level up theme. Very whimsical. All right.
Advancing collective knowledge! Progress!
Oh my god, the way he rolled his R's for progress was crazy. Hold on.
Progress!
That's crazy.
Everything can use an upgrade!
Everything. Okay. All right. Looking at some spells and resolving some skills. Here we go. Enemy deny.
Kindly keep your hands off my work. Shoo, shoo! That was years in the making. Technology so brilliant, it must be mine.
I mean, he sounds like, you know, obviously we have some... I mean, honestly, most of these voice lines are just your typical voice lines of a mad... I don't even want to say a mad scientist. Just a scientist who doesn't want anybody messing with their work, right?
If those fools and theoretical quaternaries could see.
Like, a lot of the stuff could be in a totally different universe, and we didn't even need it to be Heimerdinger.
The only holiday worth celebrating.
Oh, Progress Day. Allied Progress Day. Okay.
A fine spectrum of pyrotechnics. What a celebration. Back to work. Eureka!
Oh my god, the R rolling is crazy. All right, Allied Pursuit of Perfection.
An extraordinary set of experiments. A most impressive outcome. Most impressive.
Okay. Pursuit of Perfection. Pursuit. Oh, okay.
Unrepeatable experiments are no good at all.
Unrepeatable experiments. See, very science-minded.
Send a feline to do a yodel's job.
And then Allied Rummage.
Too many ideas, not enough hands. The answer is here, somewhere.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough hands because he's the only one that's smart enough to do probably exactly what he wants to do, right?
Experimentation for optimal outcomes.
Okay. Allied Super Mega Death Rocket.
Impressive firepower. Taking notes.
Taking notes. I love the way the voice actor annotates that one. Allied Thermogenic Beam.
Divert all power to main laser. Full blast.
The voice actor's definitely having some fun here. All right, Allied Unlicensed Innovation.
Unwelded fastenings. Loose nuts. Yeah.
Loose nuts.
Where are your permits? Where are your standards?
I feel like he's getting so much more dramatic the further we go down here. All right, let's start off with our attacks declared.
Hypothesize their demise. I concur. Goggles on.
Goggles on.
I have a new method to evaluate.
Blocks declared.
Oh dear.
Hold on, I love that one.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
So dramatic, man.
Anticipated outcome. Interesting solution.
I would say at the beginning of Arcane, Heimerdinger is very much like this.
Oh dear.
But towards the end of Arcane, he becomes a little bit more calm, right? And after meeting Echo especially, and after getting kicked off the council, his tune kind of changes a little bit for sure. All right, Death.
Unforeseen outcome. Added to the bug list.
The bug list. All right, and then the Chosen voice line.
A wise choice.
And removed from choice.
Questionable reasoning.
All right, that seems to do it for the Legends of Runeterra voice lines. These are really good. I think these are solid, especially I think the way that the voice actor does a good job of delivering the Heimerdinger personality, right? The kind of like uppityness that Heimerdinger has and kind of some, I don't know, snobbiness that he has, especially that you see in the first season of Arcane until he gets kicked off the council. That's when you, yeah, I think they did a really good job of that. And especially, I don't know if it's the same voice actor in Arcane or not. I have no idea. I doubt it is. All right, anyways, I think they did a really good job with the Legends of Runeterra voice lines. I know these are newer, so hopefully the League of Legends ones aren't like extremely different. I know obviously he's an old champion. Hopefully they're not crazy old, but we'll have to see. But I think overall you get the idea of his personality here. I do like the interactions with the champions that we do have in Legends of Runeterra, even though it's mostly with the gear and the tech that they're using more than themselves. But I think they did a good job with the voice lines here, but let's go take a look at the League of Legends ones. All right, let's just get right into it here. So the pick sound effect. Okay, sounds like a turret coming on.
Indeed, a wise choice. How befuddling.
Okay. Ooh, different sound there a little bit with the voice recording on this one. Okay, movement. We got a lot of them. Let's go through them all. Here we go.
Aha! 42. I knew it. Now, what was the question again?
42. That's the answer?
How befuddling. I could do that better. By my calculations.
I think because it's a different voice actor, right, doing the voice in Arcane. I think they did a really good job of doing the Heimerdinger voice from, you know, League into Arcane because it's not the same voice actor, yeah?
Back to the drawing board. I put the scheme in schematic.
Oh my, okay. I hate that one.
Fascinating, isn't it? Brain over brawn.
There you go. I mean, that sums up Heimerdinger. 100% right there.
Not enough variables. Not nearly enough variables. One step closer to greater understanding.
Except I will say, I don't remember Heimerdinger rolling his R's in the show. I don't know if he ever does or needs to in the show, but he definitely rolls his R's here in League.
Order, entropy, a never-ending cycle. Or is it?
Or is it?
Let me fix that. Very interesting. 42. There's just something about that
Yeah,
number.
hold on. What's going on with 42 here? What am I missing?
Order, entropy, a never-ending cycle.
Or is it?
Aha! Did I leave the tridiminium ovulator on?
Oh my goodness, did I leave the oven on?
Just as I hypothesized. I do love a good conundrum. The cosine of your root divided
Wait.
by... I do love a good conundrum.
That voice line, 100%.
What an uncommon denominator. Every problem solved is another revealed.
Oh my goodness.
I concur. Goggles on. Yes, hurry. I have important work to get back to. Wonderfully efficient.
All right, moving on. Let's do the first encounter with Jace.
Jace, mind if I borrow some of your hexpertise?
Okay. Vi.
Groundbreaking hex tech innovation employed in the service of punching.
He sounds so disappointed. Vel'Koz, this is interesting.
I don't agree with your methods, but by golly, do you get results?
Oh, I mean, sure, that's true. We're not going to have to argue with that one. First encounter with Victor.
If you seek to replace all humans, there will be no one left to appreciate your work.
Okay, true. I don't know if this voice line's got to be old, but it still works nonetheless, right? First encounter with Ziggs.
Would you mind taking your explosives elsewhere?
Okay, that's great.
Have you considered making quieter explosives?
Heimerdinger, you're making a lot of noise with some of the stuff that you're making too there, buddy.
Your explosives are disturbing my research.
Fair enough, fair enough. Ziggs is somebody we have not reacted to. He's probably going to be the very last one of the last ones to react to. All right, Taunt.
I'd prefer a battle of wits, but you're unarmed.
Oh, that was a taunt already. I like when they use it for Draven in Legends of Runeterra. I thought it was specifically made for him because that was so good. All right, anyway.
Don't worry, you can learn so much from failure.
That's true. All right, we have 3 jokes. Are they going to be any good? Here we go.
Why do chemists call helium, curium, and barium the medical elements? Because if you can't helium or curium, you barium.
I'm just kidding. Okay.
There are 3 key ingredients to invention: excessive imagination, good old-fashioned stick-to-itiveness, and a rockin' good hairstyle.
Okay. Can't argue with Heimerdinger's hair there.
Why do people say you can't trust atoms? Because they make up everything.
Okay, you know what? I'll give him that one. It's a little clever. It's a little, the little at the end wasn't necessary, but it was it was kind of like a dad joke a little bit. All right, laugh. He laughs in a frivolous and amused manner. Ew, I don't like that one. Okay, now we have basic attacks. And attacking voice lines. Here we go.
I theorize your defeat. Testing in progress. This calls for a prototype. What a reaction.
What a reaction. I've heard that one somewhere.
Stop that. You will damage my turrets.
I feel like I definitely have heard these maybe in like TFT perhaps.
I've applied the formula for success. I require my adjustable reverse ratcheting magnetic box wrench.
You would have one of those.
This behavior is highly inefficient. Mind your vectors. They'll have a few screws loose by the end of this. Stand back. I am about to do
I wonder, are any of
science.
these used in Arcane? Has he said any of these voice lines? Now that I'm thinking about it, like, I feel like I either heard some of these voice lines in TFT or I might have actually heard him say it in Arcane, but I don't recall how many of these voice lines he would have actually said in Arcane because, he doesn't get like a ton of screen time. But I wonder if he says any of these.
Working as intended. Back, you dirty ape, back.
Whoa, who's he calling a dirty ape? Excuse me?
Eureka.
Who's he calling it? Hold on, what?
This will put a wrench in their plans.
Is that voice line still in the game? I feel like that's kind of crazy.
You are poorly designed for this. Eureka! Exceeding turret output capacity for great science. Raise your what?
Your what? He does one of those what? All right, ability casting. We got the turret.
It's smaller than the diagram.
That's because he wanted the apex turret here.
Rise, my creation.
like he's like Frankenstein or something.
It's gone mad.
Literally, like it's like Frankenstein. That's funny.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the micro rockets.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He's very proud of his rockets.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the rocket swarm.
Perhaps I should try more rockets.
You know what? That's usually a good solution.
No, not all the rockets.
Oh.
Yeah!
All right, and then the electron storm grenade.
Ah, the sweet smell of science. Ah!
He always makes these weird noises with all of his abilities. And then we have the lightning grenade.
Ha-ha! Yeah! Yeah!
He makes such weird noises. And then the recall.
What's up?
Oh, this is where he has to like hit it to start it working again. Oh my, wait, I love how it cuts out at the end there because he starts flying in the air. That's so funny. All right, we have his death noises. Oh my God, okay, these are definitely different death sounds. It's so weird. He makes a shivering noise and then dies. Interesting. All right, looking at the trivia. So for great science references the internet meme for great justice, which originated from the English translation of the game Zero Wing. Why does it say English? What is happening? What is this trivia? Okay, back you dirty ape back references Planet of the Apes. Now, okay, I have heard that in Planet of the Apes. I didn't know if that was actually a reference to Planet of the Apes, but sure. That'd be crazy to hear that voice line in game though, I feel like. Raise Your What references Raise Your Dongers by ex-pro player and streamer Michael I'm a Cutie Pie. Okay, so I'm a Cutie Pie. Gotcha. Raise Your Dongers. Interesting. A lot of memes with Heimerdinger here, it looks like. Not enough variables. Not nearly enough variables. References Mordin Solus from Mass Effect 2. I know that is a fan favorite character. I myself played Mass Effect 2, so I do know Mordin. All right, 42. There's just something about that number. And aha, 42. I knew it. Now, what was the question again? References a popular phrase from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Okay, I heard of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, never watched it, never read it, never anything of it. The phrase has gained meme status. Understood. The only 42 I know is, I think that's Jackie Robinson's number too. I don't know. Okay, in the Brazilian localization, Heimerdinger has a joke referencing El Chavo del Ocho. All right, no idea what that is. And then his taunt, I prefer a battle of wits, but you're unarmed, references William Shakespeare. Oh, I had no idea. I would challenge you to a battle of wits, but I see you are unarmed. Very cool. That's an actual Shakespeare quote. All right, and then it looks like Dragon Trainer Heimerdinger. I knew they did extra stuff for that skin, but it looks like they also did voice lines there. Okay, I think actually for these voice lines being very old, because he's such an old champion, these are actually really, really good. Because a lot of champions, I feel like as old as Heimerdinger, don't even have this many. I think like this was a pretty good set for voice lines, and he has a lot more because of all these different, like, he has multiple jokes, he has multiple taunts, multiple laughs. He even has some encounters with other champions, and a lot of the older champions don't even have like that much. So I think they did a really, really good job. I don't know if maybe they like updated his voice lines maybe later, so maybe that's why he has a little bit more. You guys can let me know about that in the comments perhaps. But yeah, I think overall Heimerdinger, this is a really, really good reaction. I think there's a lot of stuff here that we had for Heimerdinger. Now, did I learn a lot more about Heimerdinger? I don't necessarily think I did. I kind of had the idea of Heimerdinger mostly from Arcane. That's a good starting point. But you know, if somebody wanted to react to this stuff in the League of Legends first before watching Arcane, I think this would be helpful regardless. I think you get an idea of kind of like how interested Heimerdinger is in like gadgets and things like that. Especially when you see, because like when he's on the council, you kind of don't really see that. You just kind of see like he's doing his council things. But then when he gets kicked off the council, meets Echo, sees the board that Echo uses, that's where you really see Heimerdinger come out. Because like, I think maybe when he's a council member, it seems like he really, maybe they just don't show it, of course, but it seems like maybe he put his priorities into more of the council member stuff, which would make sense, right? That should be a priority. But then once he had all this extra time after getting kicked off, he went back to his roots, I think, which was all of the, you know, the tech stuff and all the stuff with technology and, you know, experimenting with things, knowing how to fix things, stuff like that. So that's why I think you see such a fun interaction between him and Echo at the end of season 1 and of course into season 2. I think that's where you really get to see like true Heimerdinger at his happiest, because when he's like messing around with and tinkering with things, that's when you really get to see how cool Heimerdinger can be, not as a council member, right? All right, I mean, last but not least, the only thought I have is, I guess if you guys want to tell me, maybe I'm crazy for not knowing precisely what happens, but we don't know exactly where or how or what Heimerdinger, right? Like at the end of Arcane season 2, we don't know if he's dead, if he's stuck in that universe, if or stuck in another universe, like what happens to Heimerdinger, right? So I guess I want to hear from you guys in the comments what your thoughts are. Is there an official, I don't think there's an official answer to where Heimerdinger is. Do we ever think he's going to show up again? Because it seems like the way Arcane season 2 ends, we're not going to get any more Heimerdinger lore, period. But they can't leave him like that, right? They have to have some sort of plan with Heimerdinger, I would say, in the future. But this is Riot we're talking about. I don't know, lore-wise, sometimes they just kind of let things sit for a very, very long time. So I guess let me know in the comments what you think they're going to end up doing with Heimerdinger, or if you have an idea of what they should do with Heimerdinger in the future. Let me know in the comments. All right, everybody, like I have been saying in these videos as of late, I am continuing to do all of the League of Legends champions in alphabetical order from now on, because we've kind of gone through the majority of the really highly requested champions. So now I'm just going through in alphabetical order. So like I said, we're on H's right now, which is Heimerdinger. I'm not exactly sure who's next, but we are starting to get into some of the actual Arcane champions. That's why we have Heimerdinger here. I think one of the, eventually we're going to be getting to Jace and Jinx here soon. So yeah, those are going to be some of the next champions that we're reacting to. I'm going to do all of these in alphabetical order. I appreciate you guys sticking around with me. I am going to react to every single League of Legends champion at some point and have a video for every single one. I think that'll be really, really cool. And maybe once I have a video out for all of them, I'll actually like number them. I don't know, in order of the way I reacted to them. I don't know, but there's so many videos at this point, I can't keep up. I appreciate everybody that's been continuing to stick with me for these League of Legends videos, though. These are really, really fun. Even if it is an Arcane character, I think it's just fun to dive into the lore of characters and just see the world that Riot built, right? I can't wait for more Arcane content or more League of Legends lore. I love this world that I've definitely fallen in love with this world. Arcane kind of started that, and then all of you also encouraging me and having a fun time watching me react to this stuff has also been of great encouragement. And yeah, I have a really fun time looking at this stuff. All right, everybody, that's enough of me yapping. Thanks again for watching. Please leave a thumbs up on the video, helps other people see the video. And go check out my other League of Legends content if this is your first time here, or go check out my gacha game content. I've been reacting to a lot of that stuff lately, and consider subscribing to the channel. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.